Hey everybody, Dr. Cool Whip here, and I've got a video about recovery really quick. I noticed I was playing a heroic strike to finish off my triumphs, and I noticed that I was playing as a warlock with 10 recovery, and I was standing in a rift, and I noticed that my healing rate was seriously hampered. So I thought, is there a bug going on with recovery? So I decided to test it out. And that's what this video is about, to try and determine whether or not recovery is a viable stat anymore, or if it's actually just an inconsistent stat. So I did some testing with various different recovery rates on my warlock, which I'm about to get to after I no-scoped this other warlock out of his super. There we go. So here we are. This is at 4 recovery on my warlock. I'm going to shoot myself with the sniper rifle and do a base test. So this is without a rift. You'll note that my health will begin to recover at 4 recovery. That's a pretty basic recovery rate. And then I'm going to shoot myself again, pop a rift, and then you'll see that the recovery rate is exactly the same. Then I'll do it again with 5 recovery, and then I have it again at 10 recovery. And we'll go over the 10 recovery one. I think we'll double dip the 10 recovery. So shoot myself, here's the rift. But what I'm noticing is that if you have a higher recovery coefficient, there seems to be some inconsistencies. One of the inconsistencies being, which is probably lag spike related, is that you will end up having periodic shoots or rapid accelerations in your recovery if you're standing in a rift, instead of having a consistent rate of recovery in your rift. And sometimes if you're standing in a rift, the back end of your recovery, the top 75% of your health, tends to regenerate faster than the lower end of your recovery rate. But that shouldn't be the case. It should be a steady, consistent rate across the board. And since when you spec into recovery, your other stats are seriously diminished. Warlocks are the only ones that can hit 10 recovery. It's like the magic number that warlocks can hit. But that means that you're also going to be at deficit with the rest of your stats. So I think this is the look at 10 recovery. I got to put on some gear really quick. The last one was 5. There wasn't much of a difference between 4 and 5, but this is going to spec into 10. Again, like I said, I think there are some lag spike related issues, but I play wired and I also have 50 up and 50 down, so I shouldn't really be encountering any issues as far as lag spiking recovery goes. But let's find out. So let's line up the shot, and poof. Okay, here we go. Let's recover our health. There's 10. Okay, now that is very rapid. That seems to be very rapid and very efficient. And that is how recovery should work. So let's look at that again. It's much different compared to the other recovery rates. Let's get in a rift, and we'll see if there's any inconsistencies there. The biggest concern that I have is that if there is a bug concerning this, or if there isn't a bug concerning this, whether or not recovery is having an issue, since it's such a critical stat, and it's a stat that one class can spec into respectively. If it's having issues, or if there are intermittent inconsistencies. See, look, the health recovery rate at 10 in this rift isn't consistent through the entire band. That's not really good. But again, I'm not sure if that's a bug or if that's lag spike related. My main point is that it should be consistent throughout its entire activation. So again, just to reiterate, if there are any issues with recovery, I'm not entirely certain there is a bug revolving around recovery, but I have noticed fairly consistently that while standing in a rift, the consistent rate of recovery is not there, and there are intermittent changes in recovery, and the benefit from speccing fully into a recovery build doesn't seem to be there. There seems to be less incentive because it doesn't seem to be very consistent. So I do think that this is something that needs to be at least addressed or looked into. I hope that you found this video at least informative. I'm not trying to spread bad information, but I hope you liked the video and at least consider it.